Hello, fellow history buffs and students. Today's discussion will be out of the norm from the past two that I have done. The topic for this week's discussion is witchcraft possession in the late 17th century in New England. Now, I chose two different sources for it to examine for this discussion. Now, they are slightly biased in a way because they only come from one viewpoint, that of the Puritan viewpoint. Because we know that in New England, especially in Massachusetts, where this was mainly seen to have happened, it did have a primarily Puritan culture. So, now, how does this affect, say, historical literacy or competency? Well, this affects it in the way that the gives you an insight into it. These are primary source documents that show what people said and how they had discussions. Now, you could take the first one. It contained from Samuel Willard. Sorry about that. In 1692, that was prison debates on witchcraft and the prosecution of witches. You must remember that the Salem witch trials happened in 1692 to 1693. So this is concurrent with that time frame, and that is why it's considered a present debate. Now, the other source was by Cotton Mather, and that was from 1689. Now, this one contained a narrative of a haunting, possession. It's kind of vague on it by today's terms, and had two discourses. Now, what he calls discourses were actually sermons delivered to a congregation in Boston. Now, if we look at that time frame, it does give an insight into how members of the clergy, the church, dealt with the subject matter of witchcraft. Also, in the present debates on the prosecution of witchcraft, how would you be able to protect someone who was actually innocent and was being falsely accused? It also goes to show that regardless of what these men said in their discourses, uh, I find kind of a unique point with Samuel Willard. I kind of see how it's more of a conversation between two men, much like Niccolo Machiavelli's The Art of War. Overall, this subject could tie into early American, and most witches we know accused were women. So this could also tie into early American women's struggles. Well, I hope I gave you just enough, but not too much. Till next week. Have a good day.